Alright, so here's my idea. You can buy like a set of aftermarket headers, put on these trucks. You run your aftermarket headers where they're running together, put on like a high flow cap. And you run your exhaust out through the space there, up into the bed. Once you're up in the bed, you buy one of those toolboxes that sit up here, metal one, and you cut the bottom out of it, or part of the bottom. Run your exhaust up through the bed, and mount your turbo up there, up underneath the toolbox where you can't see it, it can't get rained on or nothing. Then run your air and your exhaust back down. Run a boost pipe back up under the truck, right beside your exhaust. Maybe find some kind of way to put like a heat shield in there or nothing, so you're not shoving hot air into your engine. Run it back up and just run it into your intake. Put your airflow sensor in there somewhere. Then, like I said, run your exhaust back through a hole. Basically cut up your bed. Run it back through a hole in and out, wherever, through a muffler, whatever you want to do. And that's the plan. But using the toolbox to cover it so you can't see it. And keep it dry. And by cutting out the bottom, you can get airflow. And if you could run your exhaust as stock looking as you could, if you were just looking at the truck, you could never tell it had a turbo. You would have to run an oil line back here. So just run your oil line back here. Then you have to put a scavenge pump under the bed to pump it back to the engine. And depending upon the turbo you get, you may have to use coolant lines, which I'm sure there's a way to tap that into it. I don't know myself how you would do that, but I'm sure there's a way you can. Just really long hoses. And so yeah, that way, just looking at the truck, it doesn't look turbo. Exhaust would look semi-normal. Turbo would be hidden in the toolbox because there really isn't enough room up front under the hood. If it was a 4-cylinder, you would have enough room, but it isn't. And yeah, no one would be the wiser. If you were really genius, you could probably mount an intercooler up here, which actually isn't a bad idea. Run your cold air up, run through the intercooler, then come out this side and run up into your intake. That would probably be a bad thing to do. And voila. It would be kept in the dry by the turbo. Because I've seen some trucks, they mount the turbo under the bed. Well, anything and everything can get to it. Driving down the road and hit it with a rock or scrape it on something. And I have seen another video where a guy mounts it in his bed, but it's wide out in the open, get rained on and everything. This way, put your toolbox over it pretty much. Put it in here, then put your toolbox over it with the bottom cut out. And there you go. You would be cutting up the floor of your bed pretty good. But, I mean, it's an idea. Just looking at it, you wouldn't be the wiser. Tailgate's up. You couldn't see from the car behind you, you couldn't see the piping and everything underneath. And depending upon the toolbox you get, they go down pretty close to the floor. Or the floor of the bed, so just an idea. If I ever run across any mojo amounts of money, I might just do that. Run low boost, because it is a stock engine. You can build these engines, but I would say for the same money you could just build a V8 of some sort. and get a lot more power out of it anyways. Just put a bigger turbo in and, you know, make even more power. But yeah, that's the idea.